Hello! For those of you over 50 planning a long-term stay in Vietnam, finding the right home is about so much more than just comfort. It's a huge part of maintaining your legal stability and, honestly, your overall peace of mind while living abroad. So, in today's explainer, we're going to jump right in and explore exactly how you can turn a temporary stay into a totally stable, compliant, and comfortable long-term home. Because, let's be real, moving to a new country is incredibly thrilling, but it can also bring a fair bit of anxiety, right? Especially when you're trying to navigate foreign paperwork. So, how do you make sure your legal foundation is solid enough to support the laid-back lifestyle you actually want? Well, we're breaking down the exact steps and regulations you need to know to guarantee that peace of mind.
Okay, let's dive into this. Here is our roadmap for today. We'll start with the residency foundation, then move into declaring temporary residence, visas and TRCs, rental markets and pricing, and finally, lifestyle and healthcare access.
First up, Section 1, the Residency Foundation. So, Law Number 47, 2014, along with its subsequent amendments, is pretty much the absolute bedrock of residency compliance for foreigners in Vietnam. It lays out all the non-negotiable rules for entry, exit, transit, and residence. Just knowing this law exists and understanding it is your very first step to a stress-free life abroad.
Now, the crucial thing here is understanding what the law actually considers a legal home. Under Article 32, private houses and apartments are recognized as official accommodation establishments. So when you're out there picking a home, your peace of mind really starts with making sure your new place falls into one of these official categories.
Moving right along to Section 2, declaring temporary residence. Okay, so when you rent a home, Article 33 steps in. It requires your temporary residence info to be declared to the local authorities, usually through your landlord or building manager. This registration is absolutely vital because it creates your official residence record in Vietnam, which is a huge requirement for long-term compliance. Because of this, a lot of savvy long-term residents intentionally seek out landlords who are already familiar with the foreign tenant registration process. They literally act as your bridge to the local government. But, keep in mind, this isn't just a one-and-done kind of deal. Under Article 33.4, your residence info needs to be updated whenever you move to a new address or when you return from traveling abroad. It's a super important habit to build. Before you even sign a lease, it's really wise to double-check that your landlord understands this process and is actually willing to do the paperwork properly. And as we navigate through 2026, keeping that residence registration updated is still a massive part of staying legally compliant. A pro tip? Always keep physical or digital copies of your rental agreements, your residence registration records, and your ID documents. It is hands down the best way to protect yourself and ensure you have a continuous, verifiable legal record.
All right, Section 3, visas and TRCs.
So, maintaining all that accurate residency information we just talked about, it ties directly into your temporary residence card, or TRC, applications and renewals. These cards are fantastic because they completely replace traditional visas, giving you multi-year stability without having to do those constant border runs. But here's the catch. Getting one relies heavily on having proper, compliant landlord records filed with the local authorities. Now, a question we get all the time is, can these cards be renewed seamlessly? Yes, absolutely, as long as you still meet the eligibility requirements. But again, the entire renewal process is fundamentally built on your housing records being fully compliant. You can really see why picking the right landlord is just so absolutely critical to your long-term success here. Let's switch gears to Section 4, rental markets and pricing. When it comes to daily life, rental costs and apartment styles can vary wildly depending on exactly where you are, the type of building, and of course, your personal lifestyle preferences. As you'd expect, apartments right in the major city centers are usually pricier, while the outer districts and smaller cities can offer some really great, more affordable options. And naturally, these markets and prices will shift over time based on local demand. But here's some good news. A lot of the apartments geared towards foreign residents come fully furnished. And beyond just giving you a place to sleep, they often include handy building services or extra security features. Factoring those little perks into your budget ensures you have realistic expectations and a really comfortable landing before you even sign on the dotted line. Finally, Section 5, lifestyle and healthcare access.
Look, dealing with all the legal paperwork is absolutely worth it when you look at the high-quality amenities you get access to. Some long-term residents love apartments near transit hubs or right in the central districts for the sheer convenience. But for many expats over 50, the absolute highest priority is proximity to top-tier international hospitals and easy access to English-speaking services. Having reliable, quick access to these international hospitals gives you complete peace of mind when it comes to your health and medical safety abroad. You are incredibly well covered if you make those locations a priority when you're choosing a neighborhood for your new home. So, to wrap up our explainer today, I want to leave you with this core thought. Careful planning, realistic expectations, and proper registration can help create a more stable and comfortable long-term living experience in Vietnam. It really perfectly bridges all those bureaucratic legal requirements we just went over with the amazing lifestyle rewards waiting for you. Which brings us to one final, absolutely crucial question for you to ponder. Is your legal foundation solid enough to support the lifestyle you want in Vietnam? I highly encourage you to check your compliance right now, review those rental agreements, and make sure your residency is properly declared. Thanks so much for joining me, and here's to building your stable, long-term home.